crafters, welcome back to Fun Stuff Crafts. So glad you guys could join me today for another Inspiration Friday. Now it has been kind of a crazy week this week. I have been traveling for work, so I've been out of town. So last week, some of you may have seen that I posted some really cute tennis shoes that I had done on Instagram. And so I thought that would be a great Inspiration Friday project this week. Now, I am using my new favorite tool, my new little Cricut Mini Easy Press. And this little guy is perfect for the job. So the pictures from Instagram, I actually gave those shoes away. My nieces always seem to get my first run at my new projects. So we are going to be making a pair of shoes for me. And so I love my puppies, and so we're going to be making these puppy shoes. So the one thing that is so cool about the Easy Press is you can get into really small areas. Like look at this back here on the back of the shoe. I was able to actually do that, and I'm going to show you. And that's all because this little guy right here is just got that precision point, and you can easily get to those smaller areas. Now I'm also going to show you some of the tips that I learned over the course of me making. I think I've made about 5 pairs of shoes now, and there are some lessons learned. So the other thing I wanted to let you know is I'm going to link below in the notes a link to the Easy Press. Right now on the Cricut site it's running $69.99. The link below, I do want to let you know, is one of my affiliate links. So if you do choose to use it, it will give me a little bit of commission. Doesn't cost you any more, but I just want to make sure that you've got the material that you need to do this fun project. So give me just a minute to get my camera angle changed, and we will get making these designer tennis shoes. So we're going to start our project inside of Design Space. So what I've done is I've launched Design Space, and I've went out to images, and I decided I wanted to put something to do with dogs and love on my tennis shoes. So I went out, and inside of the images I had just selected paw prints, and then I went down, and if you scroll down here there's all kinds of cute images already inside of Design Space. But I found this one right here. I also thought this was cute, but I decided to go with this one. So that is what we have got on our canvas right now. Now, when this comes into Design Space and into your canvas, it is grouped together. I can't separate these out at all. Now, I would like to make sure that they're going to fit on my shoe. So I went ahead and measured my shoe, and I'd like to scatter these paw prints and these hearts all around my shoe. And I determined that about an inch size would be the right size for the images. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup them. And so now I have an image that is the hearts, and I have an image that is the paw prints. Now the one nice thing when you're looking at the grid here is the grid, those larger squares with more of the gray around them, like right here, that is an inch by inch. And so if I just kind of eyeball that paw print fits in there and that one fits, I know I've got an inch by inch paw print. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the heart, and I'm just going to eyeball it to make sure we've got right about the right size, and the same thing with the other set of hearts. So now we're good to go. Now, because I'm going to scatter these all over my shoe, I'm not exactly sure how many that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate a few times here. So here we go with, there's one image, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go with 7. So I'll do the same thing with the paw prints, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? So if I were to go to make right now, whoops, I didn't need to move that. But if I were to go to make it right now, I would have one set that was on the gray mat and one set that is on the pink or red mat. And I definitely could start working just like this, but I want to show you a trick. Sometimes if I want to save time in cutting and I just want to have one set of cuts, what I'll like to do is I want to change everything to be the same color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to use the color sync feature. I'm still going to cut out two colors, but I want them all to show up on the same mat. And an easy way to do that is just to grab these, move them up, and now everything is that gray color. Okay, it's going to take us a little bit of moving around when we get to the mat. But now when I go to make, I have got one mat. Okay, so now I've got a mat that's got the paw prints on it, and I've got one that's got the heart. Okay, the very first thing we want to do, because we are going to be using heat transfer vinyl or HTV iron-on, we are going to put this as a mirror image. So once I do that, what I want to do is I want to move the hearts down to an area lower on the mat, and that is where I'm going to place my red vinyl. So this is just a trick I've learned that way I can cut everything at once. So I'm just going to line these up this way, and then I'll show you when we actually put them on the mat how we're going to handle that. Okay, so here I am, and I've got these down here. And you notice how I kind of move them around just so I can save my vinyl. I wanted to keep them separated so the paw prints are, you know, in proportion and spread out. But just for cutting, this way I can make sure that I'm using the least amount of vinyl as possible. So when I look at this now, I need to cut out at least a 4x4 piece of black vinyl, and then I need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5x5 piece of red vinyl. Okay, so then when I go to place them on the mat, and we'll do that together, I'm going to put my black vinyl right here, and then I'm going to put my red vinyl down lower, and it's just one cut is what we're going to be doing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move to continue. And with that continue, it is going out and looking for my machine. And I'm using my maker. And so it is connecting with my maker right now. And the next thing that's going to come up is it is going to ask us what type of vinyl that we're going to be using. And I am just going to, yep, my maker is on. Just need to double check that. One thing I wanted to remind you guys on is I've got favorites selected, and I love this. This is the most common materials that I use. But remember, if you don't have this or you would like to set up favorites, you can always just go to Browse All Materials, find the material you like, and if you click on the star here, it'll automatically add it to your favorites. So if I go back over here to my favorites, I am using Everyday Iron-On. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my Everyday Iron-On. I'm going to say Done. It's going to say, you're using Everyday Iron-On. Is your mirror image turned on? I'm going over here, double check. Take the time to read what your machine is asking you. The next thing is what tools we're going to load and our mat. Nothing goes in A. In B, we're going to have our fine point blade, and then we are going to be ready to push the load button once we get our mat loaded. So let me switch my camera angle, and the next thing we'll do is we'll load the mat, and I'll show you how we're going to do it where we're cutting two different colors of vinyl with only one mat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load our mat. And so keep in mind this is your heat transfer vinyl. And so it has got a shiny side and then it's got a dull side. And we always want to put the shiny side down. And so based on where it was showing up in my grid, when we placed it, I'm going to do my black here first. And then my red, and I've cut those out on the sizes that we kind of talked about. So I've got a 5x5 square of red, and I've got a 6x5 square of black. So this is how I'm going to cut two different colors on one mat. So it's all in how you lay out that design. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my maker and I am going to open it up. And once again, remember we talked about there's nothing in A. In B, I've got my fine point blade. I'm going to push my mat in. I'm going to hit load. And then the maker is connecting with my design space right now. It is showing me that it is time to start cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the cut button. And then the maker is going to go over and say, okay, let's check and make sure you have got the correct blade in tool spot B. And then we are just going to start cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this spot, and then we will come back and start weeding together. So the next step we want to do is we want to remove our heat transfer vinyl from our mat. And so I like to remove all of mine kind of backwards, upside down, taking the mat off that way, and then just pulling it off. Whoops, pulling it off. We'll put the mat off to the side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start weeding. Now I always weed from the reverse side, and you guys all know that I love my pin pen that I'm going to use. And what you're going to do is you are going to find a start. Now when I look at it, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see in the camera, but when I look at it, I can tell that I've got some excess material here, and I am just going to cut it off because I can save that for later. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the heart one, though the heart one's pretty full up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my pin pen, and I'm going to catch the corner, and then just by doing the corner, I should be able to pull this off. So one nice thing about the heat transfer vinyl, it peels so nice, and the Cricut maker cuts it so nice. And there's no little pieces that I need to weed. So we are basically done weeding that one already. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my hearts. And I'm just going to pull that back the same way. And you're going to be able to see our heart designs. And there we go. We've got both of our cuts all weeded, and we're ready to go. So the next thing we need to do is we have got our tennis shoes that we're going to be using. And I found this pair. The other ones that I've done that I'm going to show you guys pictures of at the end, I picked up at Walmart. But I couldn't find my size at Walmart, so I picked these up at Target. A little bit more expensive than Walmart, but I just wanted to go ahead and make myself a pair of shoes since I'd made some for my nieces already. So what I'm going to do is I just kind of want to take a look and see, how big are these going to be, on the shoe, and just kind of space them out different places, kind of get some ideas. So what I want to do first is I'm actually going to cut these out, and we're going to be applying them separately. So I'm just going to cut them. Now, when you are applying the heat transfer vinyl to the tennis shoes, it is a really good idea to either put a sock in your shoe, or you'll see I'm actually going to put a washcloth in there. I tried doing this without putting anything inside your shoe, and I will tell you it's really easy to burn yourself. And so you do not want to do that at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these up, and then we will get our Easy Press Mini ready to go. And I'm going to put a sock in my shoe. That sounds kind of funny, I know. And we will start putting these onto my shoes. So I'm going to fast forward through this next part because all I'm doing now is prepping the little paw prints and the little hearts. Now I want to show you a great guide that is out at Cricut that you can use, and I just went out to Easy Press Heat Guide, and I have a resource item or a printed material that you can get for these Easy Press settings, but I also wanted to show you how you could do this right online. So if I select that I'm using my Easy Press, I've got everyday iron on what I'm using, and my shoes are a cotton poly blend. So I'm going to hit apply, and then down below it is going to show me that I should preheat my material for 5 seconds. I'm going to have it on the number 2 setting, which is the medium setting of my Easy Press Mini, and I'm going to do it for 25 seconds, consistent movement at a light pressure, and then a medium peel. So as you go down here, you can also see that it talks about the supplies, the preparation, and the application. So I just really like being able to use this website if I don't have my other printed material available to me. Okay, so now that we know that our Easy Press Mini needs to be set at the medium heat, this is where I've got it plugged in. I'm going to turn it on, and I am going to go to the second setting. So while that's heating up, we are going to get our tennis shoes prepped. Now, I just like to take a washcloth and put it right inside the shoe. And so what that helps me to do is if I push it in really good, it gives me support there when I'm putting on the transfers on the vinyl. Now, a couple things I want you guys to think about when you're doing your shoes is you do not want to get the Easy Press Mini anywhere near your rubber of your soles. Okay, so you want to be really careful. The nice thing about the Mini is it does have that fine point tip. So if you're really careful, you should not get anywhere near that. The other thing that I took the time to do is I want to have the same amount of designs on each shoe. So I divided my paw prints in half, and I've divided my hearts in half. Okay, so that way I know that I've got the same number on each shoe. Now, am I going to do them in the exact same spots? I'm not sure yet. I have not done the dog print yet, and so we're going to just kind of get some ideas of where we would like to do it. Now, the cool thing about the heat transfer vinyl is that carrier that it's on has got a little bit of stick to it. So I could, or I can, just kind of play with where I might want to put some designs. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that first one. And I'm going to take it now. My Mini has told me it's up to heat because it's green now. And I am just going to take my shoe. And the Mini is a little bit different than the Easy Press, because with the Easy Press, you don't move it around. With the Mini, you definitely want to be moving it around. Now, there's not a timer with the Mini, and so you definitely kind of just need to count in your head, and it said it was for 25 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm probably really close to that. So I'm going to let that one sit for a minute. One step that I did not do this last time is it does say to warm up the area. And so it's really
not that it has to be hot. It's just that you want to make sure there's no moisture whatsoever. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick up another paw print and put another one over here. And so I'm going to do the exact same thing. And remember, I've got that washcloth in there, so it's really helping me out. And I'm being very careful, turn it there so you guys can see, that I am not hitting that rubber of my sole. I definitely will melt it. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep rubbing around. They say about 25 seconds. It really transfers on so nice to these shoes. I'm going to go ahead and set that down. Always make sure you put your mini back on the case or the holder. And if I take those off, you can see already these shoes are turning up cute. Now, I like to keep these extra transfers handy because one thing you don't want to do is as you add more design to your shoe, you do not want to have your Easy Press hit this vinyl. So I'll cover it back up if I need to. So let's go ahead and add a heart right there. And now I can be very careful about doing that, or I can go ahead and cover my paw prints back up. I'm stuck here, just to be safe, which is what I like to do. And then I'm going to go again, and I am going to move around. I missed that step again about preheating. It's always a good idea. I preheated some of the area, so. Just work it around. And you kind of decide where you want to put your next design. So let's just pull these up, see what they look like. Oh my gosh, they're turning out so cute already. I'm just not sure if I'm going to want to put as many as I thought, on here. One thing that I think I do want to do, though, is I want to put some on the back of the shoe. So the back of the shoe, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my washcloth, and I am just going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab and put a paw print there. Now I'm going to be really careful not to hit that rubber. And just easily put it in. But I'm thinking I cut more than enough of my transfers, and I don't think I'm going to use them. But I can always find a reason to use little paw prints. So, but I think sometimes more is less. So that just going to look so cute on the back of the shoe. I love this idea. This is totally figure it out as you go. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So again, see, you guys can see that. Just being very careful. Not wanting to hit that rubber of the shoe sole. And I'm moving it around. And this fine tip really gives me the ability to really get in close. Sorry about that, you guys. I got out of camera view. Okay, so pull that off. And oh my gosh, I just love that part of the back of the shoe. Now what I think I might want to do is, since it's the back of the shoe and it is smaller, I am going to, I don't think I can get, yeah, I think that would be too big. So I'm actually going to cut out one of the small hearts, and I just want to put it right in the middle there. So I am, to be safe, I'm going to cover up those paw prints again. And then I'm going to show you how precise I can be with this pin, this tip. So I'm just going to hit, that heart is so small that I am just being so careful. And I am able to get that on there without hitting the rest of my design. Let's see what this one looks like. Look, is that just so cute on the back of these shoes? So let's take a look. Should we or shouldn't we add? Now I could, I said more is less is more, right? Or more is less. What about putting a little bit there? Okay, so let's make sure that we have our towel in place. And let's go ahead and put a paw print right there. So I'm just going to move around. I'm just so excited about this as a, you know, think about baby gifts. You know, sometimes you can find cute little, you know, tennis shoes or whatever. You could customize it with, maybe they're doing a giraffe theme or a zoo theme or a teddy bear theme, or whales, or, you know, all different types of things. There are so many designs in Design Space that you can add all kinds of things to a pair of shoes for a baby gift. I just think that's such a cute idea. So I'm kind of eyeballing here to make sure that I've got these kind of lined up in the same area. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I need to move over my towel. And I'm going to just press along there. Same deal. I think these are just going to turn so cute. Okay, got that one on. And peel it off. So what do you guys think? Trying to decide, let me turn it and face it towards me. Trying to decide if I want to add more or, you know, I think I am going to go with a smaller heart size on either side next to the paw that I did there. Or should I do it? I think I'll do it back there. Okay, so I'm going to take my washcloth again. I'm going to get it in there so I can get a good handle on it. Whoops. So I can get a good handle on it. And I think I'm going to put a heart on the other side, and then I'm going to call it good. So I guess I did use most of the prints I made. Got quite a few friends that are dog moms, so I can't wait to show them these cute shoes. Went online and was looking at, you know, what some people are charging for these type of shoes, and it's crazy. So here you guys are. You can go pick up, find them on sale. These ones, like I said, these were a little bit more expensive. These ones I did pick up at Target, and they were $16.99. The other ones that I have pictures of that I initially did, I did pick up at Walmart, and they were, I think, $5.99. So definitely a little bit less expensive there. So, but there we are. So I'm going to do the second shoe, and I'm going to fast forward through it, and then I will show you when I'm all done with this cute pair of puppy shoes.
there you have it, the completed pair of designer shoes. I'm so glad you joined me today, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, you can check me out at funstuffcrafts.com. I'll make sure I put the links below in the video. And once again, thanks for joining me on Inspiration Friday.